Hey, welcome, multifamily investors. This is Brandon, and I'm going over last week's multifamily closings in the 5 counties that I watch here in the Puget Sound area, Western Washington, which are Kitsap, Thurston, Pierce, King, and Snohomish counties, and everything under 2 million. Because I know a lot of people that follow me like to see the inventory that's closing or what it looks like in terms of properties, prices. And the last few weeks, I feel like I've seen about a half dozen to 10 closings. The last week, we had 22 closings of multifamily under 2 million in the 5 counties I watched. And I just like to go through these real quick for people who want to kind of track and get a pulse of our market. Most of these are duplexes, and these cheaper ones, like here's one in Bremerton. I can almost guarantee these are house hacking ones where a buyer is going to own or occupy one side, rent out the other, live in one. For these prices, and the type of property that they are, where they're located, I just know that most of these. Plus, when I see their FHA or VA buyers, obviously those are then owner occupied. And then we got a duplex down in Olympia, 525, sold for 525, days on market 10. Stuff is still moving in our market. There are some that obviously have been sitting for 2, 3, 4 months, but maintained properties, competitively priced, are still selling very quickly. There's constantly investors out there looking for opportunities, even to house hack themselves. Puyallup, if you don't know, it's a good area. Duplex was listed for 550, sold for 530. Lakewood, this is down south by Tacoma, listed for 569, sold for 550 after 10 days. It's a triplex, actually. That's a pretty good deal for a triplex. Maple Ave in Bremerton, this is a duplex. And this one was interesting. I want to highlight real quick. It was listed for 550. It sold for 570 after 4 days. And if we look at the potential terms, so here's where the listing agent put cash out, conventional, FHA, VA, whatever they want, owner financing. This one doesn't even say owner financing. And in our MLS, we can see at the bottom what type of financing was used to secure this property or to buy it, and we can see owner financing. So even though it wasn't listed as owner financing as a potential term, this deal was taken down with seller financing. So that's what I'm trying to help you understand, that people like me that are watching, we know how to ask the right questions and find other creative ways to get deals done. Not every agent or every seller knows about seller financing, which is probably why this wasn't even listed as an option. But the buyer's agent was able to maybe make a solid case and negotiate that for their buyer. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that was one of two, because I go through all these, one of two of the 22 that were seller finance deals. I'll show you the other one here in a minute. This is a duplex in Tacoma for 650. Seattle triplex. Look at that. That's pretty decent discount after 75 days on the market. 775, almost 100,000 under where they started. University Place is a good area down here in Pierce County. Triplex 710. That to me is a good price. It's on the market 7 days. Renton duplex 725. This is South Seattle, Delray duplex for 800. Renton duplex. This is more like a residential with a big ADU or something that they had. Yeah. So not true multifamily, in my opinion, like our side-by-side ramblers that we look at, or duplexes. Shoreline duplex for 838. That's up in Snohomish. Edmonds is in Snohomish, a triplex for 900. Not a bad price for that. It's near Mukilteo. Everett, this is a really big duplex, sold for 950 after 22 days on the market. That's got to be, in my opinion, an owner-occupied buyer probably. Here's a decent fourplex up in Everett for 950. So not too long ago, just earlier this year, it was hard to find a fourplex under $1 million anywhere in South Snohomish or King County. Now we're starting to see some trade in the 900s, which is really good for my buying clients. Issaquah duplex for just under $1 million. Ballard triplex for $1 million. That's a pretty good deal for Ballard. Queen Anne duplex $1 million. That's about going price for that area. And then this fourplex in Des Moines, I was watching for a while. It was on the market a month. This was the other seller finance one. Look, it says owner financing available, 20% down, 7% interest, 3-year balloon. So I ran my financial snapshot on this based on the information I was provided. I couldn't find a way to make this make sense with the 20% down. This is what it did end up closing at, is the 1.173 on seller finance terms, and I had it running negative 900 a month. So I'm not sure what the plan is for this buyer. I think the agent was the buyer. The buyer's agent was her, she represented herself. Maybe she's going to live there. So in that case, it could possibly make sense as an owner-occupied opportunity. But as a non-owner occupied investor like myself, that didn't make sense. Negative 900 a month. Edmonds, we had a fourplex for 1.2. That's first time on the market in 30 years. Only on the market 6 days. They actually got over asking. They may have built in some seller concessions there to help buy down their rate. And Burien, a bigger property here. Let's see, for 1.3, this was a sixplex, 1.3. I think that's a pretty good deal. It's a little bit older, mid-century, 1959. But when you can get 5 units for, 300,000 or so, that's not bad for South King County, the Burien area. Okay, so there you have it. 22 deals, 22 investors that pulled the trigger and found deals in this crazy market where a lot of people are on the sidelines thinking nothing makes sense. The rates are too high. I can't find an opportunity. Well, here's 22 people that have either added to their portfolio or started their real estate empire. So if you have any questions or need help running some numbers on a deal, or you'd like to find out how to find some opportunities like this in our Puget Sound area that I'm watching, let me know. I'm happy to help. And I look forward to doing this every week for you. Thank you for watching.